Do you ever have bad days? Do you think that if you were somehow different or better, you wouldn't? Nope. Everyone has bad days sometimes, and there are 6 things you can do to extract all the value out of the gift of a bad day. Instead of spiraling down, you can spiral up. Your bad days won't take you as low or last as long, but you'll still have them sometimes, and that's okay. You'll know exactly what to do. You're listening to the Health Courage Collective podcast, episode 263, Don't Waste the Gift of a Bad Day. Welcome to the Health Courage Collective podcast, the show for women who are too busy to slog through hours of generalized, inapplicable, and often contradictory health information, but too smart to ignore that the years right around the time of menopause are the most critical time to lay the foundation for health and strength in her 70s, 80s, and beyond. Your time is now. Let's go. Hello, and welcome to the episode. I hope you're having a great day so far. Have you had a colonoscopy this last week? I assume not, but I hope that understanding the risks and benefits of colonoscopies and how colorectal cancer is fundamentally different than many other types of cancer helps you make an intelligent decision for yourself. Now, have you ever had a bad day? One of those questions that need not be asked. We all have bad days sometimes. Even the smartest, richest, healthiest, most famous, and most successful people have bad days sometimes. What do you typically do when you're having a bad day? Does one thing going askew ruin the rest of your day? Are you snippy with people? Do you throw things and stomp around, slam doors? Do you withdraw into yourself or get critical? Do you skip your workout or overeat? Do you watch too much Netflix, stay up too late, give up on your to-do list? Whatever your kryptonite of choice is, do you gravitate toward that when you're having a bad day? I've always been a planner. To me, it's fun to plan and imagine the great results that will come from following my fabulous plan. Many years ago, when I was a pretty different person, it feels like, I used to have these great plans for my day and my week and my year, and as soon as something didn't go according to plan, I would feel like the whole thing was ruined. I was a victim of undesirable circumstances. I could never accomplish what I needed to. It simultaneously was not my fault, but must be my fault because there was something wrong with me. I would decide that I deserved a treat, or I would give up on trying to get a healthy dinner on the table for everyone. I thought that after the day I had, I needed to unwind by watching TV once the kids were in bed, which led me to not going to bed on time. I wouldn't follow my masterpiece plan. How could I? I was having a bad day and it was ruining everything. What I needed was for things not to go wrong. I needed to figure out how to not have any more bad days. That was the problem here. If I could do that, I would be set. There are a lot of things that I know now that I didn't know then that have helped me to not be so frustrated and ineffective anymore. Or at least not as often, and not inside of my own head. I'm certainly not perfect or better at this than anyone else other than my past self. I still have things go sideways, still get frustrated and annoyed, still do silly things that I know better than to do, but I feel like it's a lot less often. And more importantly, it doesn't make me spiral out and create problems for myself that take days or weeks to clean up in order to get back on track. In order to die satisfied that we've done all that we could while we are here on Earth, that we took the minutes and hours and years that we were given and created a masterpiece life that we're proud of, we need to create some masterpiece years. And in order to create some masterpiece years, we need to create some masterpiece months. And in order to create some masterpiece months, okay, you get the idea. So which minute matters the most in creating your masterpiece life? Or which day or year is the most important? It's this one, right? The one you're in right now. That's all we really have to work with. What do I choose to do right now? Lest you feel overwhelmed at the thought of dying, feeling that your life was not a masterpiece, let me ask you a question. How many good days does it take to make a good week? Hint, it's not 7. How many good days to make a good month? In the book Elite Minds by Stan Beecham, he talks about the absolute best performing people in the world having had bad days. His job was to make the best of the best even better, to see opportunities, to tweak and adjust, to grab hold of those marginal gains. High-level performance was everything. So you might think that a poor performance in training or in a game would send up all the red flags. They were losing it. He was a terrible coach. The athlete was never going to make it. They needed to double down or burn it all to the ground and start over. Something was wrong, and neither of them could afford for there to be something wrong. The best person in the world doesn't have bad days. Nope. He said that the top performers in the world usually have 3 to 6 bad days per month. His rule was that his athletes should expect to have 3 to 6 bad days per month. Expect. Like, I can expect my boys to always hit each other with empty wrapping paper tubes no matter how old they get. I can expect to pick up my phone to check what time it is and then end up getting distracted by it and completely forget that I wanted to know what time it was. I can expect that when I check into a hotel room, I'm going to peek behind the shower curtain to make sure there's not a serial killer back there. I can expect weeds to grow in my yard, and I can expect to run out of gas every 400 miles. It's just part of life. When something that you expect happens, you don't freak out. Golfers know that they're inevitably going to make a few bad shots. It's part of the game. Instead of freaking out, they're taught to just say, "Yep, there's one." They knew it was coming. Even if we don't like paying our taxes, we know it's going to come around every April. I laugh every November when I pay my property taxes online because there's always a box you can check that says, "I'm paying under protest." And I always want to click it. I'm sure some people must click it. It's very tempting. I like what Coach Rick Scarpula says. He says that as you become a more experienced athlete, you learn that bad days and slumps are just part of your career. He said he has what he calls his crappy day pile. If he has a bad day, or 3, he just tosses them on his crappy day pile. You can't get as far if you try to carry all of your crappy days around with you. He says, start a crappy day pile and don't be afraid to load it up. One day you'll look back and say, "Man, that's a big pile." Then you'll laugh to yourself and move on. That's step 1 of not wasting a bad day. Realizing that bad days are inevitable. Expecting them to come around sometimes instead of freaking the F out the way I used to, saying, "Yep, there's one." It's not a sign that there's something wrong with you or that you need to reevaluate every life choice you've ever made or even to find a solution to this problem necessarily. Because it's probably not even that big of a problem. If you're under 7 bad days per month, you're functioning at a very high level. Step 2 is what Phil Stutz calls catching turnarounds. Just like one bad day does not a bad week make, one bad year doesn't make a bad life, and one bad hour doesn't make a bad day, unless you spiral down and never get back up. I'm sure you know the story of the Odyssey by Homer. The sirens that sang to the sailors to try to lure them away to their death sang a different song to each sailor. What was one man's irresistible undoing wasn't really tempting to someone else. So, what's your siren song? Kind of a hard question, right? Maybe it's not for you. I had to do some pondering to think of mine. I knew I had them, but I hadn't called them out on myself before, and that's hugely important. Knowing your personal beguilers can give you so much power over them. Then, as you're sailing along, you can know, like Odysseus's sailors, that you need to put wax in your ears or have yourself tied to the mast, so to speak. If you need to pause here and ponder what calls to you when you're starting to go off the rails, I think that would be time well spent. A lot of people get lost in the endless scroll. Just picking up your phone can hijack the rest of your day. Our phones are engineered to be that way, which is kind of evil. Some people play games or watch TV or read to excess. Many stay up too late or drink too much. Some check email frequently or shop or overspend or overeat. You might watch long videos of a guy making risotto for his cat. That's a real thing, thanks YouTube. Once you know your siren song, even if it's not something bad like a drug addiction, you can notice when you start drifting toward the siren's rocks. I can feel myself slipping into that avoidance mode. I start inventing things that desperately need to be done that really aren't even important. All of a sudden, I really need to go to Costco. My family will starve, or I'll miss out on the $2 off napkins coupon or something. Seriously, ridiculous. In order to catch a turnaround, as Phil Stutz calls it, we need to recognize that we're off track. As soon as we do, we playfully see how quickly we can turn it back around. It's all just for fun anyway. He says that that's the most creative thing we can do. Notice that we're disconnected from the best within us and choose to reconnect as quickly as possible. Do it often enough and quickly enough, and you'll start spiraling up. I like the sound of that. The third thing we can do to really take advantage of our bad days is to realize that even though they're not fun, bad days are a learning adventure. You can't fully develop without understanding how best to process negative situations. You can dislike what is happening and still use your energy to do the best you can instead of wasting it on the past or on complaining. There's likely something important we could learn from what is annoying us. If we observe with curiosity, we can start connecting the dots. I'm having a bad day because I'm bummed that my presentation at work didn't go as well as I had hoped. My presentation didn't go great because I didn't have the energy and warmth that would have made it better. I don't have energy because I only got 5.5 hours of sleep for the past 3 nights in a row. I only got 5.5 hours of sleep because I was watching Prison Break till midnight. Have you seen that show? It's probably been, 11 years since I watched it, but it was highly addictive, siren song style to me back then. I was very concerned about Dr. Tancredi. Whatever the case, bad days can provide us with valuable data and about what we can do differently or valuable experiences that, while painful, teach us and give us life experience that we will be grateful for later. Jack Nicklaus once said that the key to being a great golfer is to play badly well. That's pretty good. It's our 4th way to not waste a bad day. It's easy to crush your workout, be patient with your kids, eat low glycemic scale foods, serve the homeless at the soup kitchen, save a family of squirrels, vacuum your husband's car, clean the oven, and return all of your library books on time when everything is going completely perfectly. But if you can learn to play badly well, you'll start to change everything. Jim Aframo calls it being ugly but effective. Doing what might be easy on a good day, even when it's hard, because it's a bad day. Confidence is an intense trust in yourself. You'll learn to really trust yourself if you can be ugly but effective. Play poorly well. Show up and keep trying. Your self-image isn't defined by how you operate on a good day. It's what you do on a bad day that's the true test of your character. And that's a gift, even though it feels like a pretty crappy one at the time. The opportunity to show yourself what you're capable of is pretty awesome. The 5th way to use the gift of a bad day is, I think, one of the most important things you can ever learn to do. I'm not very good at it yet, but I'm working on it. This is also a tool from Phil Stutz. He calls it emotional resilience. It is that the worse you feel, the more committed you are to your protocol. I remember the first time I heard that, I was kind of grabbing the sides of my head like, what? The worse you feel, the more committed you are to your protocol? This, of course, presupposes that you have a protocol, which I can help you with, but it's so great. If you can learn to use your feelings in reverse, so to speak, to dictate your optimizing efforts, you'll become unstoppable. Your bad days would be better than your good days. Whoa. What would that look like in your life? Imagine how you feel on a bad day. Can you use that feeling as a reminder that you are now more committed to your plan? How will you remind yourself? Would it help to think of yourself as your favorite hero or superhero? Muddy and bleeding and able to muster just enough strength to save all of humanity? You don't have to save all of humanity. You just need to be ugly but effective, and you can do that. Lastly, our sixth way to not waste a bad day is to use the gift of data that you get from your bad days to get clear on what makes for a bad day and what makes for a mediocre day and what makes a great day. It's our stories or thoughts about our circumstances that influence how we feel, rather than the circumstances themselves. But some circumstances make it easier or harder to think thoughts that create a good or a bad day. Some are out of your control. You get backed into in the parking lot. You get a call from the school that your daughter's being suspended. You get an unexpected raise at work. Your friend sends you flowers. But the majority of our day's circumstances that presuppose what kind of day we'll have are under our control, and our physiology very much affects our psychology. What are actions you can take that make it really hard to have a good day? Sleeping poorly is a huge one. Wasting time on low-value activities. Being snarky with people. Eating foods that cause a sugar high and subsequent crash is a big one. Eating non-satiating foods. Not giving your body the nourishing movement it craves is a big one. Maybe you're an introvert like me, and not having any alone time makes you feel restless. Or maybe you're the opposite, and not having enough social interaction makes you uncomfortable. Now, what things make it hard for you to not have a good day? Today started last night, and tomorrow starts tonight. Waking up well-rested, untroubled, and with a specific plan of what's most important to do today is impactful. Starting my day with some silence and meditation makes a big difference to me and my ability to stay focused and serene. No cell phone or inputs of any kind at the beginning of the day. Recommitting to what's important to me helps me make better choices throughout the day. Do you remember that working out is like taking a little bit of Prozac and a little bit of Ritalin together? It boosts your mood and keeps you alert. Connecting with nature is also great. Getting a little sunshine on your skin and in your eyes. Giving your body high-quality, nutrient-dense fuel makes it hard to have a bad day. Accomplishing your most important task of the day. Get it done early and you'll have won the day before most people have even gotten started. I'm sure you have some great ideas that I haven't thought of. Whatever makes it hard for you to not have a good day. Pick one thing, the one with the most impact. What is it? Can you commit to doing it every day? Can you commit to being more committed to it the worse you feel? How can you make it tiny? Imagine that you are feeling your worst, the worst day you've had in years. Think of how that's going to feel. Can you imagine yourself doing the tiny version of that number one habit anyway? Can you feel that feeling worse makes you more committed to doing it? You are awesome. I can pretty much promise you that you're going to have another bad day at some point. Now you're ready to receive it as a gift. An unwanted gift, maybe. I had one this past Monday. It was not good. But you can make that gift of a bad day valuable if you, 1, expect to have a few bad days here and there, and know that no matter how elite you become, you're never not going to have a few bad days. And 2, notice your personal siren song leading you to kryptonite and see how quickly you can catch a turnaround before you start doing dumb stuff. 3, be thankful for the valuable experience and data that you receive from your bad days and notice the connections between your habitual behaviors and the quality of your day. 4, play poorly well. Be ugly but effective. Develop trust in yourself that you will do what you said you would do. 5, the worse you feel, the more committed you become to your protocol. This is how you spiral up instead of down. And 6th, recognize and do the things that make it really hard to have a bad day. And you still will sometimes, and that's okay too. Over time, if you use your bad days well, your highs will get higher and your lows will get higher. There will still be lows, but they won't be as low or last as long as they used to. Thank you so much for being here today. Next week, we're going to talk about how William Shakespeare can help you age better. But until then, extract all of the value you can out of your bad days and don't be normal. Pat yourself on the back for sticking with it till the end of this episode. I know your attention is valuable and I don't take it lightly. I'm so grateful that you care about not settling for anything less than world-class care and results. Strong women who feel good change the future. I'd appreciate it so much if you'd share this podcast with a friend so we can make elite-level perimenopausal outcomes the rule rather than the exception. This podcast is for entertainment and information purposes only. Statements and views on this podcast are not medical advice. This podcast, including Christina Hackett and producers, disclaim responsibility for any possible adverse events caused by use of information contained herein. If you think you have a medical problem, consult a licensed physician.